Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Natira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava
Kunja Vihari
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Kunj Bihari, Radha Kunj Bihari, Radhe.
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 Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva Mai Subhadra. Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva
Mai Subhadra.
Jaya Srinath Ji, Jaya Bala Gopal, Jaya Srinath Ji, Jaya Giri Govardhan.
Srinath Ji, Jaya Bala Gopal, Jaya Srinath Ji, Jaya Giri Govardhan.
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai.
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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva.
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva.
Jai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Jai Gaura Hari Bo, Jai Gaura Hari Bo,
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo,
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Jai Gaura Hari Bo.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Harinam Sankirtana ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parigana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patikanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prachaline Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshataline Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, thank you for this opportunity to welcome this Chaitanya Caritamrita into the home of Prabhu and Madhya Mataji. This is a very wonderful decision in your life. We make so many decisions in life, but to bring Chaitanya Caritamrita into your home, we can consider it to be most auspicious. The Shastra, bringing scripture, is non-different than bringing the Supreme Lord into our home. And this Chaitanya Caritamrita, we know by the explanation from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur that there's nothing more valuable in the entire world, the entire universe, than this Chaitanya Caritamrita. Because within it contains the essence, the instructions of how to achieve perfection of life, how to achieve eternal happiness and peace. So something that can give that, we must understand, has some value. Just like if I gave you an envelope, and inside the envelope was written tomorrow's lottery winning numbers, how valuable you would deem that envelope. Would you just put it aside somewhere? You'd consider it very valuable. Why? Because it contains something that can give you great wealth. And from that wealth, we ascribe that I can achieve some pleasure, some happiness, some enjoyment. So I put wealth, I put some value on that. But we know that any material wealth, whether it be money, fame, beauty, strength, whatever it is, it's very temporary. It doesn't last. And we have practical experience of it. We have convinced ourselves, or we have said, when we're younger, if I just get this, I'll be happy. I got everything I need. I just want my own home. I want my own car, or my own this, then I'll be happy. But when we achieve that, after a few moments of satisfaction, what ensues? What do we experience?
Further requirement.
Furthermore. We want more. Our taste is not satiated. It's not satisfied. So we want more. And we get whatever more that we define. And then what happens?
More sin.
We want more. And more. And more. And we find that it doesn't end. Whatever duration of life we've experienced here, we've had the same. From when we were a small child to where we are now. And we can then, by simple logic, understand that will continue. Until we come to understand our eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord. Our relationship with everything around us is very temporary. But our relationship with Krishna is eternal. And because of that eternal relationship, the sweetness, the happiness we get from that relationship is also eternal. That which is temporary, my experience with it is temporary. That which is eternal, my experience with that is eternal. So if I'm looking for eternal happiness and peace, it exists when I, the spirit soul, you, the spirit soul, connect with the Supreme Spirit, Krishna. Spirit gets happiness from spirit. We are all spirit soul. Trying to find this enjoyment in material experiences is very limited. Because spirit and matter don't mix. As much as oil and water do not mix. You can mix it. But as soon as you stop mixing, it separates again. Because they're not compatible. Like that, our spirit soul, it finds its natural position in relationship with Krishna. Just as a fish, when you pull it out of the water, it doesn't experience happiness. You may give it jewels, you may fan it, give it wonderful things to drink, you may glorify it, praise it. But that fish outside the water is in a very precarious position because it's not in its natural environment. No matter what we try to do. So similarly, the spirit soul not connected with Krishna is like that fish out of water. But as soon as I take that fish and put it back into the water, it again finds its blissful state. Like that, when we connect back with Krishna, we again find our blissful state. So how to do that? What does it mean to connect with Krishna? What is that relationship like? What is going to be my experience in that relationship? What is step 1, 2, 3? We may have these questions. And those answers are contained within this Chaitanya Caritamrita. And thus, it is more valuable than anything else we can find in this entire universe. Because within this Chaitanya Caritamrita gives us the answers to finding eternal bliss and happiness. And in the beginning of the introduction, Srila Prabhupada defines Chaitanya Caritamrita. It's a bit of a mouthful, so we wonder what that means. Right? So, Prabhupada explains in our introduction that Chaitanya means the living force. Charita means character. And Amrita means immortal. So when you put it together, it may be translated as the character of the living force in immortality. It means what is the activity of us as individuals that lives on eternally. I may be an IT professional, I may be a doctor, I may be a lawyer, I may be a worker, I may be male, I may be female, I may be tall, short, but all of these designations we know to be temporary. Who were we 100 years ago? Who are we going to be 100 years from now? Certainly not what we are today. Can we at least agree on that? So whatever identification I have, it is temporary. But Chaitanya Caritamrta unlocks to us what is the eternal character of me, the living force, the living entity. What is that character? And the answer is we are eternally the loving associate and friend and servant of Krishna. And so Krishna himself comes to give us the instruction of how to apply. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke all of the instructions of how to find perfection in life. Within these 700 verses is so much sweetness and in wonderful instruction that it can provide everything we need. Lord Shiva explains that if you take the essence of all Vedic knowledge and you condense it into its essence, that is the Gita Upanishad. And thus he says, Ekam Shastra. Let there be one Shastra that everyone reads, Lord Shiva says in his Gita Mahatmya. And he says, let everyone read this Bhagavad Gita, because within it contains the essence of everything. Just like a gigantic tree. What is the essence of a gigantic tree? It's fruit. The mango that grows is the essence of the tree. Like that, this Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Vedic knowledge. And there Krishna spoke how to find perfection of life. And he gives many instructions. Man mana bhavan mad bhakto majiji mam namaskuru. He says, Sarva dharmam prityaja mam ekam sharam vraja. He says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakti prayacha. It's over instruction after instruction after instruction. But Krishna was feeling a little remorseful after he went back to his eternal abode. He said, I spoke to everyone, my lost children, how to awaken this relationship with me, which will give us peace and happiness. No other relationship will. But he said, I did not show it. I spoke it, but did not show how to do it. So then he comes back as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he shows us step by step how to awaken this mood of bhakti, this mood of love with the Supreme Lord. And this Chaitanya Caritamrta is the biography of the activities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, showing to us how to awaken this relationship with Krishna. So this is the Chaitanya Caritamrta in a nutshell. With millions of lifetimes and millions of mouths and millions of ears, we cannot get to even a small fraction of the glories of Chaitanya Caritamrta. So, thank you very much for allowing us to come into your home and enjoy this very wonderful opportunity to discuss Chaitanya Caritamrta. We actually don't have any concept of its value. All we can appreciate is we don't understand it because it's so magnificent. And my hope is that everyone will desire to bring this Chaitanya Caritamrita into their home and obtain the same blessings both of you are obtaining by doing so. And so I beg for your permission so that we may discuss something from Chaitanya Caritamrita today. So today is, what is today? It is Mother's Day. So first and foremost, let me offer my pranams to all the wonderful mothers who perform the greatest of service and who we all have so much to learn from all of you. So, mothers are glorified in our Shastra. Actually, we have 7 mothers. We have our birth mother. We have the wife of Guru as our second mother. We have the wife of Brahmana as third mother. We have the wife of the king as fourth mother. We have the nurse as fifth mother. And we have Gomata, Denu, cow, as our sixth mother. And we have Mother Earth as our mother. And mothers maintain our entire existence. And for that, we owe a great debt of gratitude and appreciation for what it is that mothers do. Because mothers endure the ultimate sacrifice. They sacrifice their own pleasure, their own experience for the benefit of others. And that is the great quality of mothers. And in devotional service, that mood is the mood of the greatest of all devotees. The bhakta, the devotee, is one who sacrifices their own for the pleasure of Krishna. And our mothers show us how to do that. So thank you very much for your wonderful service. So in that mood, I thought we could discuss a pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his own mother, our beloved Saci Mata, who is the eternal mother of Krishna. See, Krishna allows us to have many different types of relationships with him. Our relationship with the Supreme Lord is not one of just fear or awe and reverence, but Krishna enjoys a very personal relationship with each and every one of us. And there are 5 primary relationships or categories of relationships. And one of those is what we call Vatsalya Bhav. That means there is a parental mood. Some may have a desire to engage in a relationship with Krishna in the mood of a parent, caring for Krishna, taking care of him, feeding him, nursing him, dressing him, like that. And Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj are the eternal mother and father of Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mother, Saci Mata, is an incarnation of Mother Yashoda. So, that is one of the moods. We can have a friendship relationship with Krishna. We can have a servant relationship with Krishna, a loving relationship with so many different relationships. But we'll speak about this relationship between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his mother, Saci Mata. So, and we'll discuss a little bit today in this verse, the role of mother. What is the ultimate responsibility of mother? And so I'll read one verse in purport, and then we'll discuss the philosophy, and then I'll share some pastimes, some stories in the context of this verse and some other pastimes with your permission. So, what time is it? My time clock keeper will throw something at me when I go too long. 11:20. Okay. So, I don't have a watch, so you can stop me when it gets too long. So, we'll read from Madhya Lila, chapter 3, verse number 181. Okay? So, we'll chant the invocation for reading this Chaitanya Caritamrta before reading this verse. So, you can repeat after me. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Acharya Jaya Gauda Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Acharya Jaya Gauda Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya 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 Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Acharya Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Acharya Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Acharya Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Acharya Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So I'll read verse 181. Teno yadi harahe tabe more sukha. Tanra ninda haya yadi se more dukha. That's the translation of this verse. Saci Mata said, "It will be a great happiness for me if Nimai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, stays here. But at the same time, if someone blames him, it will be my great unhappiness." Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This is the explanation to this verse. It is a great happiness for a mother if her son does not leave home to search out Krishna, but remains with her. At the same time, if a son does not search after Krishna, but simply remains at home, he is certainly blamed by experienced saintly persons. Such blame certainly causes great unhappiness for a mother. If a real mother wants her son to progress spiritually, she had better allow him to go out searching for Krishna. The mother naturally desires the welfare of the son. If a mother does not allow her son to search for Krishna, she is called Ma, which indicates Maya. By allowing her son to go as a sannyasi in search for Krishna, Saci Mata instructs all mothers of the world. She indicates that all sons should become real devotees of Krishna and should not stay at home under the care of an affectionate mother. This is supported by Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Verse 18. No one should become a spiritual master, nor a relative, father, mother, worshipful deity, or husband, if he cannot help a person escape the imminent path of death. Every living entity is wandering within the universe, subjected to the law of karma, and transmigrating from one body to another, and from one planet to another. Therefore, the whole Vedic process is meant to save the wandering living entities from the clutches of Maya, birth, death, old age, and disease. This means stopping the cycle of birth and death. This cycle can be stopped if one worships Krishna. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjana. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in the material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. To stop the cycle of birth and death, one has to understand Krishna as he is. Simply by knowing Krishna, one can stop the process of rebirth into this material world. By acting in Krishna consciousness, one can return to Godhead. The highest perfection of life is for a father, mother, spiritual master, husband, or any other family member to help others return home back to Godhead. That is the most preferred welfare activity for the benefit of relatives. Therefore, Saci Mata, although the mother of Nimai Pandit, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, considered all the facets and decided to allow her son to go out in search for Krishna. At the same time, she made arrangements in order that she might get news of all the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here we see Saci Mata showing us the role of mother. So what is the goal of a mother for their child? What does the mother want for her child? I can ask the mothers. Happiness. What else? Peace. Yes. Huh? Health. What else? Huh? Safe. Safety. And how much mothers are willing to work for such goals of health, safety, peace, happiness? Little bit?
All.
Middle of the night, child needs. Mother will say, I'm sleeping, sorry. Father might say, but mother will never say. There's one plate of food available and child is hungry, mother is hungry. Who will eat first?
Kid.
Mother is working day and night for the goal of protecting, securing the health, happiness, and prosperity of child. So, Srila Prabhupada is guiding us here and explaining this verse of what Saci Mata's mood is. So when a mother wants happiness for their child, safety for their child, peace for their child, do they want it short term or long term? They want it for a few years or eternally? So, to give eternal peace and happiness to our children, there's only one way to do it. It is not by making them a doctor, by making them very fit, by employing great security measures to make sure nobody comes in their harm. The only way to give them eternal peace and happiness is to knowledge about the relationship with Krishna. To connect them with their eternal Father. We are temporary mother and temporary father. How many mothers we have had? How many fathers we have had? But we have eternal mother, eternal father. That is Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So our responsibility is to connect our children back to Krishna for the purpose of ensuring their welfare. Because Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam. One who knows Janma karma, the pastimes and appearance of Krishna, has the benediction of never having to experience the difficulties of the material world again. Naiti mam eti sorjana. Never again. So Saci Mata is teaching that how one should enable the connection of child to Krishna. Of course, in teaching our children to understand their relationship with Krishna, we must also teach them other things. We must teach them how to navigate this world. We must teach them material knowledge is needed. Right? Knowledge of the world around us, education, those things are important. Health, how to maintain yourself, social customs, etiquette, all that is important. But if that is there without the knowledge of understanding my relationship with Krishna, all of that will not give us any permanent result. But by bringing Krishna into the center of our process of raising our children, we make all those other activities now fulfilled. So the mother, the father, this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam says, no one should become a spiritual master, nor a relative, father or mother, if they cannot help the person from the imminent path of death. It's a stark statement from Srimad Bhagavatam. But that is our wonderful opportunity as mothers and fathers, is how we can connect ourselves and our family to the Supreme Lord. Because from there, one can achieve what we are all hoping for: peace, happiness, health, security, all of that. Because in the spiritual world, it is Vaikunta, free of all miseries. There's no misery. There's no sickness. There's no old age. There's no crime. There's no conflict between people. It is just bliss and happiness. So if we can deliver our children to that realm, what greater welfare activity we can perform? Is there a greater welfare activity we can perform? So that is what Srila Prabhupada is getting. That this is the most preferred welfare activity for the benefit of relatives. So by acquiring knowledge for ourselves, we can then impart that knowledge unto those we love. And so Saci Mata, in this portion of Chaitanya Caritamrita, she is lamenting that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, her son, has taken to the fourth order of life and has entered the sannyas ashram for the purpose of spreading this knowledge that we are now all benefiting from. But being an affectionate mother, she is lamenting that her child is going to be separated from her. And so she understands that yes, that is causing some lack of happiness for me. But then she also understands that this is the ultimate I can do as a mother, is to enable my child to find Krishna. Of course, her child was Krishna, but he's playing the mood of a devotee. Right? And so as mothers and fathers, we can see how we can help to inculcate this mood of devotion, having faith that it is the ultimate lottery ticket that provides eternal bliss and happiness. So much more I can say on that, but we'll run out of time. So this is the mood. And so Saci Mata says, in Prabhupada comments at the end, that Saci Mata made some nice arrangements. So why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent his time in Jagannath Puri? Anyone knows? Why he went and stayed in Jagannath Puri?
Because of the request from Saci Mata.
Because that was the request of his mother. So, if our children here, we would say, see, even Krishna listens to his mother. So all of us children should listen to their mothers. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fulfilled the desire of Saci Mata, who requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to stay in Jagannath Puri. Why? Because Jagannath Puri and where Saci Mata and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu grew up, Navadvip in Bengal. So this is a little bit, about 3-4 hours outside of Calcutta is Navadvip, Mayapur. And from there, Jagannath Puri is just an overnight train to Orissa. So that distance is close, and there's a lot of travel back and forth between the residents of Navadvip, residents of Jagannath Puri. So Saci Mata thought if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed there, he would be away, because it is not appropriate for a sannyasi to stay with family. But also he'd be very near, because I would get nice updates about his activities. So in this way, she requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to stay in Puri. But this brings us to this very sweet pastime. And we'll read some verses. But what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was planning to do. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, after taking sannyas, he was with Lord Nityananda, Mukunda, and Chandrasekhar Acharya. And he was desiring to go to Vrindavan and to set up shop there, if you will. And he wanted to stay in Vrindavan, the holy land of Lord Krishna's pastimes, and just immerse himself in devotional service. So he asked Lord Nityananda, let us go to Vrindavan. But Lord Nityananda had a different plan. And so, as they were traveling after taking sannyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy, chanting and singing the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Just chanting and singing, they were traveling through the forest. And they happened upon some cowherd boys. And so Lord Nityananda, seeing these cowherd boys, and Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was very attracted to them. he went ahead and told these cowherd boys, if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks you, where is Vrindavan? You show him the path of Ganga. Tell him that is the Yamuna. And tell him to follow the Yamuna to Vrindavan. So the cowherd boys understood. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approached these cowherd boys, they asked, oh, my sweet boys, you are chanting. He put his hand on all of their heads, blessed all of them, and then said, you engage in chanting. This is the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, just chant, just chant, just chant. It is the simplest and most effective means to awaken our relationship with Krishna. He would say, Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam. Kalo nashta eva, nashta eva, nashta eva gatiranyata. In this age of Kali, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way for deliverance. Then, chanting of the holy names, chanting of the holy names, chanting of the holy names. Harinam, 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 he would say. So he engaged the cowherd boys in chanting. And he asked, where is Vrindavan? Which way to Vrindavan? And they pointed to the Mother Ganga. And they said, you follow this and it'll take you to Vrindavan. So they followed Lord Nityananda's instruction. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approached Mother Ganga, thinking it to be the river Yamuna. He was in ecstasy, knowing Krishna had enjoyed so many pastimes in the most holy river Yamuna. He offered prayers to river Yamuna. And then he took bath. And he was in ecstasy. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda then sent ahead one devotee and said, you tell Advaita Acharya to come to the banks of the river in a boat, and you bring some dry clothes because now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was wet, and you arrange for him to come to your home. So actually Lord Nityananda was diverting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not to go to Vrindavan, but to take him to Shantipur. And for the purpose of meeting his mother Saci Mata. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, Saci Mata was in extreme pain of separation. She was in such separation. So the Lord Nityananda, being very merciful, tricked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and brought him to Shantipur. And he sent Chandrasekhar Acharya. He said, you go and you bring Saci Mata to Shantipur, to the home of Advaita Acharya. And there, Saci Mata will meet her beloved son, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So to facilitate this pastime, Lord Nityananda was even willing to deceive Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And so he told this, and they're going along the river. And all of a sudden they see Advaita Acharya sitting in a boat. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Advaita Acharya, what are you doing here in Vrindavan? And Advaita Acharya says, we are not in Vrindavan. We are in Shantipur. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looks to Lord Nityananda. You cheated me. You cheated me. You told me this is the Yamuna. This is the Ganga. We are in Shantipur, not in Vrindavan. And Advaita Acharya said, no, Lord Nityananda did not cheat you. Because at Prayag, Allahabad, when the Yamuna and Ganga merge, the Yamuna merges from the western side, and the Ganga merges from the eastern side. And they flow here. You have taken bath in the western side of this river, so that is the Yamuna you have bathed in. Lord Nityananda has not deceived you. You have taken bath. And Advaita Acharya is speaking, my dear Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Wherever you go, that is Vrindavan. So you are in Vrindavan, here in Shantipur. So don't be mad at Lord Nityananda. He performs these pastimes. Please come to my home. And in this way, Advaita Acharya invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after having taken sannyas, to his home. And Saci Mata from Navadvip was seated on a beautiful palanquin, and all the devotees of Navadvip had begun a procession to Shantipur. They would not reach until the next day. So Advaita Acharya, having been forewarned that Lord Nityananda was going to bring Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home, he and his wife, Sitarani Thakur, has performed a great service. And they had prepared a wonderful feast and a wonderful offering of foodstuffs. Excited to meet and receive Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So at the risk of making everyone very hungry, I wanted to read some of these verses. They're so wonderful. So, in the home of Advaita Acharya, he had a beautiful temple. And so he had cooked a gigantic feast, which we'll describe here. And he made 3 plates. 1 metal plate, and then 2 very nice, large plantain leaf plates. And Advaita Acharya's plan was to feed Krishna, his deities, on the metal plate, and feed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda on these leaf plates. So, the 2 plates were filled very nicely with the kind of food described below. So I'm just going to read some of these verses. They're very sweet. So if you want to cook for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you want to please him, you can. This is your cookbook right here. This is some things we can make. He said the cooked rice was a stack of very fine grains, nicely cooked. And in the middle was yellow clarified butter from the milk of cows. Surrounding the stack of rice were pots made of skin of banana leaves. And in these pots were varieties of vegetables and mung dal. Among the cooked vegetables were patola, squash, manakachu, and a salad made with pieces of ginger and varieties of spinach. Now, when Advaita Acharya said, please come home and take some prasad, 3 days they had been traveling through the forest. You can imagine how hungry they must have been. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I'm a sannyasi, I cannot eat opulent foods. Advaita said, don't worry, I just made some rice and some light spinach. Nothing opulent, just simple food. Now see what simple foods he made. There were shuktas, bitter melon, mixed with all kinds of vegetables, defying the taste of nectar. There are 5 types of bitter and pungent suktas. Among the varieties of newly grown vegetable, leaves of nimba trees fried with eggplant. The fruit known as patola was fried, and palubadi, a kind of dal preparation, first mashed and then dried in the sun. There was a preparation known as kushmada manakachi. And then Prabhupada writes in the purport, we request our editors of cookbooks to add all these nice preparations described by the experienced author Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. The preparation made with coconut milk mixed with curd and rock candy was very sweet. There was curry made of banana flowers and squash boiled in milk, all in great quantity. There were small cakes in sweet and sour sauce, and 5 or 6 kinds of sour preparations. All the vegetables were made so that everyone present could take prasadam. There were soft cakes made with moong dal, soft cakes made with ripe bananas, and soft cake made with urad dal. There are various kinds of sweetmeats, condensed milk mixed with rice, a coconut preparation, and every kind of cake desirable. All the vegetables were served in pots made of banana leaves, taken from trees producing at least 32 bunches of bananas. These are very nice quality banana leaf plates. And they made little bowls. If you go in Bengal and you have the fortune of honoring prasadam in someone's home, they serve like this beautiful banana leaf plates with nice bowls and so many of these offerings. These pots were very strong and big and did not tilt or totter. All around these 3 eating places, the 3 plates I mentioned, were 100 pots filled with kinds of vegetables. Along the various vegetables was sweet rice mixed with ghee. This was kept in earthen pots. Besides these, there were chipped rice made with milk mixed with bananas, and also white squash boiled in milk. Indeed, it is not possible to describe all the preparations that were made. 100 pots were filled. We can imagine what this place looked like. So this is what Advaita Acharya. You see the mood of a devotee. That when he understood Krishna was coming, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was coming, as a grihasta, we have a great opportunity to cook and serve the Lord. And so like this, he made a wonderful feast with his wife. And then it continues. There were boiled rice with vegetables, with flowers of tulsi leaves. There was pots filled with scented rose water. And there were 3 sitting places with soft cloths were placed. Thus Lord Krishna was offered all the food, and Lord took it very pleasantly. So they made 3 nice sitting cushions in front of the metal plate and 2 leaf plates. And so in this system, after offering food, to perform Bhoga Arti, Advaita Prabhu asked the 2 brothers, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, to come and see the Arti. So after we offer something to the Lord, our custom is that then we offer Arti to the Lord. So like this, Advaita Acharya did so. And after the Arti was performed, Advaita Acharya put Krishna to rest. Like after we take a big meal, we need a nap. Like that Krishna enjoys also. See, Krishna enjoys these personal types of service. It is not just a ritual, but it is a service of love. So then Advaita Acharya invited Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take their seats in front of their plates. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I am a sannyasi. I cannot take all this opulent foodstuffs. So many things you have made. I am a renunciate. I can take just a little rice and some spinach, as you said. And Advaita just says, stop your word jugglery. You are sitting in Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Ji is eating 54 times a day. And each offering consists of hundreds of offerings. Actually 56. He gets Chappan Bhog 54 times a day. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none different than Lord Jagannath. He says, don't tell me you cannot eat like this. You are eating like that all the time. Lord Jagannath was given the benediction that when he eats, and then they wash his hands, before his hand becomes dry, the next offering comes. And like this, he is eating all day long. So he said, what is this little offering I have made compared to what you are eating in Jagannath? So please sit and eat. So like this, they were having nice pastimes. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was overwhelmed with so many things to eat, where to start, and he begins to enjoy. And it's explained that he would eat, and as he got to the bowl was half filled, Advaita Acharya would refill it. And Chaitanya said, no, I cannot eat this. And Advaita Acharya, okay, just finish this bowl now. And then they would eat halfway, and then more would come. And like this, Advaita Acharya was feeding Krishna his love. When we make an offering to the Lord, we are not making rice or dal or sabji. We are offering Krishna our love. And Advaita Acharya had unlimited love. And so like this, he had so many offerings. But now Lord Nityananda, as he tricked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also plays very funny pastimes. And he and Advaita Acharya are very close friends. And like close friends, close associates, they sometimes speak to each other in joking ways, sometimes give each other a hard time. But this is the love. So Lord Nityananda says, Advaita Acharya, you have invited me to your home. I have been fasting for 3 days and you have given me nothing to eat? This will not satisfy me? You have nothing. You are a grahasta. He's saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, I cannot even touch one morsel. And Lord Nityananda said, there's nothing here to eat. It will not fill me up. And Advaita Acharya says, oh Lord Nityananda, I may give you 10 or 20 manas of rice. Mana is equivalent to like 4 kgs. So this is 40 to 80 kgs of rice. And still you'll not be happy. So just sit there and eat what you have been given. And Lord Nityananda says, oh, this. And he takes some of the rice he has eaten. And then we cannot explain this, but he throws it in his plate. And 2 pieces of that rice touches the leg of Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya goes into ecstasy. Because Lord Nityananda is none other than Lord Balaram. And being purified by the remnants of Lord Balaram, Advaita Acharya begins to dance in ecstasy. Normally we think our food that we have eaten is juta. It's contaminated. But this is Lord Balaram himself eating and Advaita Acharya. So to enact this mood, Lord Nityananda and Advaita Acharya are play fighting. And this is all happening in this beautiful room where they're enjoying. So like this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda eat so much quantities of prasad. I'm just paraphrasing almost 100 verses here in the interest of time. Maybe you all are hungry now. So like this, they continue. And then Advaita Acharya takes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda into another room, makes a nice bed for them to take rest. He offers them a garland, rubs their body with sandalwood paste, offers them tulsi leaves with cardamom, and like this. And he begins to massage the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, you cannot. This has gone too far. I am a sannyasi. You cannot do. And so he says, you please take prasad. You and Mukunda and Haridas Thakur, you please take prasad. See, Krishna is always eager to see us benefit. Service with Krishna is not a one-way street. When we give ourselves to Krishna, he gives himself back to us. But whatever we may offer to him, how does that compare to what he may offer to us? Who wins in that transaction? We are the winners. So when Krishna says, give yourself to me, remember, Krishna is eager to give himself to us. Love is a two-way street. It is not one way. And love with Krishna is so sweet. And so like this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prime concern was that you, Advaita Acharya, you please take prasad. And so like this, they went to take prasad. So this pastime continues, and it brings us to the verse that we discussed, that Saci Mata had then reached in the late afternoon. And after taking prasad and after taking rest, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, they went into an ecstatic kirtan. And so for 3 hours, they performed very sweet kirtan. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was jumping and dancing in ecstasy, so sweet. And when he would jump high in the air, he would go smashing down onto the ground. And seeing this, Saci Mata's heart would break. And she has this I just wanted to read this very beautiful verses that she said. So Saci Mata is seeing this. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I cannot find the exact word. But she's praying to Lord Vishnu that, Lord Vishnu, please make the ground soft so that my dear Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body is not pained. I cannot see this. Whatever things I have done in service to you, give all those benedictions to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so he is not pained in this falling down on the ground. This Vatsalya Bhav is coming very sweet, this motherly affection. Like that, she was very pleased. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sees Saci Mata, he receives her very, very nicely. And I wanted to read those verses. So this kirtan was going on. So as soon as Mother Sachi appeared on the scene, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fell before her like a stick. Mother Sachi began to cry, taking the Lord on her lap. This motherly love, this 24-year-old Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But you see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what his mood was, he offered his Dandavat Pranams first to his mother. This is our responsibility to show our gratitude and respect for mother. That Krishna himself is showing us this mood. Upon seeing each other, they became overwhelmed, seeing the Lord's head without hair, because he had cut his beautiful wavy black hair. Mother Sachi became greatly agitated. Out of love, she began to caress the body of the Lord. Sometimes she kissed his face and tried to observe him carefully, but because her eyes were filled with tears, she could not see. Understanding that Lord Chaitanya had accepted the renounced order of life, Saci Mata, crying, said to the Lord, "My darling Nimai, do not be cruel like Vishwarupa, your elder brother." the Lord replied, I'm skipping some verses. My dear mother, please hear. This body belongs to you. I do not possess anything. This body was raised by you, and it comes from you. I cannot pay this debt, even in millions of births. This should be our consciousness to our mother. Knowing or unknowingly, I have accepted this renounced order. Still, I shall never be indifferent to you. My dear mother, wherever you ask me to stay, I shall stay. And whatever you order, I shall execute. Saying this, the Lord offered obeisances to his mother again and again. And Mother Sachi, being pleased, took him again and again on her lap. Then Advaita Acharya took Saci Mata within the house. We can see this very sweet exchange between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Saci Mata asks for the remaining period of time that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say, please let me cook for him. All the devotees were eager to feed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like Advaita Acharya had, Srivas Thakur and others. But Saci Mata said, please let me, this may be my last opportunity to cook for my beloved Nimai. And so like that, for several consecutive days, Saci Mata would cook beautiful offerings for the Lord. In the evening, they would have these ecstatic kirtans, and then that festival would continue again. This is bhakti, feasting and dancing, chanting the holy names of the Lord. This is spiritual life. It is not a life of arduous austerities, deprivation, or trying to restrict the senses. No, it is about using the senses with the Lord, eating wonderful things that have been offered to the Lord, singing and dancing with the Lord, enjoying in the association, these Sankirtana parties, enjoying in the association of devotees. Spiritual life is about engaging the senses in so many wonderful ways. And we can see for 10 days, everybody was in ecstasy, just enjoying this way. And this is what spiritual life is about. It is about chanting, dancing, feasting. That's what we do. So, like this, Saci Mata continued. And she cooked for him for 10 days. Later in Chaitanya Caritamrita and Madhya Lila, a very sweet pastime occurs. That after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri, Saci Mata returned to Navadvip alone. But she was not alone. Thinking about her Nimai, Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were always together. And sometimes she would make offerings and she would offer to her Shaligram Shilas. But when she would cook very special offerings that she knew were very dear to her Nimai, she would lament and she would sit with the plate on her lap and she would start to cry, thinking, oh, my Nimai would really enjoy this offering. And like this, she would cry and lose sight. And when she would open her eyes, sometimes the offering would be gone. Nothing would be on the plate. And then she would wonder, oh, did I forget to make the plate? And she would go into the kitchen and check the pots. And the pots some was gone. Then she would wonder, did Shaligram eat from the plate? It is gone. Like this, she would go into confusion. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then tells Srivas Thakur, he was in Jagannath Puri, he says, you give this Maha to Saci Mata when you go return, and you tell her that when she is crying in ecstasy, desiring to offer me these foodstuffs, that I am personally coming and eating from her plate. So she should not be illusioned that she forgot to make the plate, or that shall let her know that daily I am coming and offering my obeisances to her. And I am eating anytime she desires. So let her understand this. So like this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was constantly reciprocating the love of Saci Mata. So just some pastimes between the mother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in honor of this Mother's Day. We can see that the main goal of any mother is to see the protection and welfare of their child. And that is achieved when we awaken our relationship with Krishna. The relationship with Krishna is dormant within all of us. It is our innate nature. By the process of chanting, by the process of association, by the process of honoring prasadam and these different things, we can awaken, blossom this love for Krishna within our heart. It is lying right here. We do not have to go search far to find it. It is right here. And in Chaitanya Caritamrita, we see how to bring this out in very vivid ways. So, on this Mother's Day, I offer my pranams again to all the mothers who show us the path of bhakti, surrendering their own needs, their own desires for the welfare of others. In the mood of bhakti, anyabhilashita shunyam gyana kamari anavartam anukulyena Krishna nushelanam bhaktir uttama. This uttama, highest bhakti, is service rendered to Krishna with nothing, no desires in return. Not I am serving you for Krishna so that you'll give me this, that, and the other. Just like mother. Mother is not serving child so that she'll get something back. She is serving out of love. So like that, we'll follow in the footsteps of our beloved mothers and learn how to serve Krishna in this selfless mood with anyabhilashita shunyam. Shunyam, no desires. Just pleasing Krishna. And in that way, we'll enjoy a life of peace and happiness. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta ki jai. Sri Saci Mata ki jai. Mother's Day ki jai. Any questions, comments, discussion?
How do you serve without, I mean, obviously there is just so much talk in Bhagavad Gita about not associating yourself with the results of it, but like just simple thing, when I was preparing something today for the prasadam,
Yeah.
I was constantly hoping, I hope everybody likes it, I hope everybody, and then correcting myself backwards that I don't want to associate with that. But there's just so much chatter within, and
So, first of all, the fact that you are having that dialogue is beautiful. That means that we are being conscious of what we are doing. So too often we get into spiritual life, we are just following rituals. We just become mechanical. But the fact that you are thinking about that is a giant step towards success. Now, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Vigata Jvara, he tells Arjuna that though you are not the owner of the results, you should not become lethargic. What happens is, we associate the result as our inspiration to do things nicely, right? I want to do my work nicely because the paycheck will come. So if Krishna is telling me don't take the result, then I'm going to become lazy or whatever. I'll make this thing if it's good or not, I don't care. That tendency can happen. Right? So how to become determined to do our best, but also at the same time, let go of the result. Right? So how to do both simultaneously. That is what Krishna is teaching us in the Bhagavad Gita. And ultimately the devotee desire is that, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to his mother, Saci Mata, this body is yours. I am yours, he said to his mother. Like that, the devotee says to Krishna, Krishna, I am yours. You have given me this body. Where the earth, all the air, the minerals, the fire, the water, where it came from, that consists of my body, it came from Krishna. So the devotee says, I am going to make things in this life, whatever I make, but it is yours. You are giving it. And if those things that are made are great, meaning the results are great, they are yours. But guess what? If the results are not so great, they're also his. So in that way, we can become very determined whether success comes or failure comes. Because I am not attached to the result. What am I attached to? I am attached to that service, to the action. Because Krishna is not looking at how that rice was made. What he is looking at is, what was the love in the process of making it? If it comes out nice, he is pleased. If it comes out not so nice, he is also pleased. If there was love in the process. So it's a process because we're so trained to attach to the result. We're so conditioned to think that way that it won't happen overnight that we stop thinking the result. It takes time. It takes much time. But as we start to think about it, slowly it will happen. But the consciousness that leads us there is knowing that Krishna is ultimately the doer. Prakute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. Because of our false ego, we think I am doing. Just like a child goes into the kitchen and makes something and says, I made this. But that child used all the groceries provided by mother and father. Used all the pots and pans provided by mother and father. Used the stove provided by mother and father. Used the knowledge of how to cook from mother and father. But the child thinks, I did it. Like that, we have a childish mentality. We're in this world, we have learned so many things, but we're just using Krishna's resources to make so many things. And we think, I am doing it. But the obedient child knows that mother and father, you have enabled me to do this. So I'm making it, I'm offering to you first. We'd say that is a very lovely child. So like that, we are in this material world, we're using all of Krishna's resources to make different things. We're using the intelligence given by Krishna himself. And so we like that, we then say, Krishna, you have enabled this, you please enjoy first. But like that mother and father, when the child offers to mother and father, are they going to eat and leave the child hungry? No. When we offer everything to Krishna, he offers everything back and then some. So we are never to lose. So when we understand that, then we can detach from that result. Now in your specific example, your motivation to make something nice for Krishna and then to make something nice for all the devotees to enjoy, that is a very nice desire. Because your desire is to please others. It was not to please yourself. So you were detached from the result. You were aspiring for a result for the pleasure of Krishna and the devotees. So that is very nice.
But there's tons of self-doubt and judgment. I can't taste the food. No.
Yeah.
So,
but that self-doubt and I can't, what you have to do then, what it leads you to do, Krishna, it's up to you. It leads us to surrender to Krishna. Krishna, I'm offering it to you. I don't know if it's good or bad, but you can make it good. Because
so
you're
hope a strategy? Is hoping a strategy? I don't know if that's a better word for that.
I would say surrender is a better strategy. Surrender meaning actually everything I'm doing come by the grace of Krishna. That grain of rice, a single grain of rice, we cannot have if there is not sun, if there is not rain, if there is not soil. Not even one grain of rice we can grow without the mercy of Krishna. So knowing that, it is not hopeless, but it is loving surrender. That, okay, it is up to you, Krishna. You are so loving and so powerful, you can make it happen. Right? And that's why Krishna says, Sarva dharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishma suchaha. He says that you can abandon everything and just surrender unto me. I will take care of everything for you. He says, aham tvam sarva papebhyo. I will take all of your sinful reactions. Don't worry. Ma suchaha. Don't fear. So, hope has a question of whether it will happen. Surrender has faith it absolutely will happen. That's the slight distinction between hope. Hope is left to chance. Surrender is faith in Krishna. He is the all-perfect, all-powerful, all-loving personality. If you can surrender to someone who is all-powerful, who is never defeated, you can surrender to someone who is unlimited, who has unlimited resources, and you can surrender to someone who is all-loving. He never develops envy or hatred or has a bad day. What greater person we can surrender to? Someone who loves us unconditionally, who has unconditional power, and who has unconditional potency. Okay? So knowing that, then our surrender becomes one of confidence, not of doubt. It's a process. We are normally used to surrendering to our own will, our own mind, our own senses. Taking that surrender to Krishna, it takes some time. And if you want to accelerate that timeline, that process, please chant. Chant the holy names of the Lord. By purifying the heart, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, that mood of surrender will come very quickly. I could speak for another hour on that, but I'll stop. Any other question? Any follow-up question to that?
Another question.
Yeah, please.
So the very first time I went to the discourse, 2-3 weeks back, Raghav Prabhuji, he said, like when he was starting out, he chanted like on one full mala round, and he's like, for 30 days. I'm like, okay, that's an act, and I think I can do that. Yes. So when I do, my mind is everywhere, and everywhere where it shouldn't be. It's like the things that I don't even care about are just there. So I'm not even remotely connected to what I'm even chanting. Leave alone like the feeling, if at all it should evoke. There's nothing.
Sure.
And then again, like it's just okay. Let me just focus on saying. So how do I, again, I guess.
Yeah.
Be better.
It's an awesome question, because again you're being very thoughtful about wanting to do it successfully, again versus mechanically, right? The mechanical feeling of chanting you want to elevate to a higher purpose. So like anything, to get good at it, it takes practice. If the first time you go onto a tennis court and somebody hits you the ball and you swing, the ball goes everywhere but straight. It goes this way, this way, this way, that way. It goes everywhere but where it should go. So the first time you hit the ball and it doesn't go how you do it, what do? Give up? No. You try it again. And again. And again. And you keep practicing until the ball goes where you want it. Maybe you'll get a coach, someone who knows to teach you how to hit the ball the way it should go. That is chanting. The first time we chant, the mind is going to go this way, this way, but not to Krishna. Just like that tennis ball. It's going to go everywhere. But I just bring it back and keep practicing. Keep trying. After some practice, slowly the mind will go where I want it to go. Just like that ball will slowly start to go where I intend it to go. But it takes practice. So it's not going to happen overnight. But we should be conscious that it should happen. Right? Not that, it's okay, my mind can wander. That's right. No. We should have kind of that. I want to bring my mind to Krishna. But it's going to take time. So it's in Nectar of Instruction, we see this utsahan, that we should be enthusiastic to practice. But we should be daryat, patient. That it takes some time. Because for millions of lifetimes, not just whatever age we may be, 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. No, for millions of lifetimes, we have been separated from Krishna, thinking about so many other things. So now, if I start, it's going to take a little bit of time to undo some of that prior thought process. And as I read more, as I associate like this more, and as I practice more, the success will come. So just keep at it and keep doing it. After 30 days, you go another 30. And like that, slowly in time. And we increase the amount of chanting we do. Just like tennis. If I practice for 10 minutes or I practice for 1 hour, which will make me faster in my progression? Playing for 1 hour. So like that, the more I chant, also the faster the heart will purify. See, the reason that we don't think of Krishna is because Krishna is lying dormant within our heart. But I don't see him. I don't feel him. So what I see and feel is things that I see around me. But he's lying here. But it's covered. So by chanting, I am removing that covering. And slowly that feeling of Krishna will emerge. Just like if I have a diamond and I stick it in the mud, I pull out the diamond, it's covered in mud. I don't see the sparkle and glitter of that diamond. But is the sparkle and glitter there? Yeah. It's just covered. So as I cleanse the diamond, now I start to perceive more and more of that sparkle. And as I keep cleansing, that diamond sparkles and glitters. Like that, Krishna, love of Krishna is within our heart, but it's covered. So by chanting, what am I doing? I'm cleansing the heart. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. He says the Darpana, the heart, has accumulated years and years of dust, and it must be cleansed. And what is the cleansing process? Sankirtanam. He says the chanting. So as we chant, though our mind may go everywhere, no, we are cleansing this covering. And slowly, the mind will attach to what it's attracted to. Ultimately, our mind goes to what we're attracted to. And our eternal attraction is Krishna. So it'll happen. Just keep doing it. Be mindful of it. Be confident and patient, both at the same time. It's going to happen by the mercy of Krishna. Patient, and it'll take some time. And like that, you'll make very nice progress. Thank you. Very nice question. Normally, I don't get questions on chanting until 6 months in, so yeah, right. Thank you. Very good. Any other comments, questions? Anything else you have? You sure? Okay. Any other? Okay. So let us take to the process of chanting now. Begging to the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Praying to him that we can invoke this mood of bhakti and come one step closer to him. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.